Have you ever wondered why the more you do for him, the less he seems to value you? Why the calls slow down, the energy fades, and suddenly the woman who gave everything is the one being taken for granted? It's not your heart that's the problem. It's not your effort. It's that you were taught to overgive, overcompensate, and overextend, while he just watches, expecting more. Every time you bend, thinking it will pull him closer, he takes a step back. Not because you're not enough, but because you're doing too much for a man who hasn't earned it. There is a harsh truth most women learn the hard way. Doing too much for a man who hasn't chosen you with intention will only make him lose respect for you. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." In relationships, you waste your time every time you try to prove your worth to a man who should have recognized it without being reminded. And what's worse, the more you give without boundaries, the more invisible you become to him. What should have drawn him nearer ends up pushing him away. Imagine a flame that burns too brightly too soon. At first, it attracts him. It's warm, inviting, exciting. But if it keeps burning without balance, without space, it overwhelms. And instead of feeding the fire, he backs away from it. That is what happens when you give more than you should. The attention you crave, it slips through your hands. The connection you want, it fades. Not because you're not worthy, but because he didn't have to earn what you handed over too easily. A man should be drawn to you by your presence, your mystery, your power, not by how quickly you solve his problems, answer his texts, or sacrifice your needs to keep him comfortable. When you do everything for him without asking if he deserves it, you're not loving him, you're parenting him. And no woman should have to raise a man to make him see her value. But let me be clear, this is not a call to play games or hold back love. This is your invitation to remember your worth, to rise into your value, to stop handing over pieces of yourself, hoping he'll stay, and instead become the kind of woman he knows he'll never deserve unless he levels up. You are not weak for wanting love, but from this moment forward, you must stop weakening yourself to receive it. A queen doesn't build empires for men who can't even lay bricks beside her. And beautiful, once you remember who you are, he'll have no choice but to meet you on your level or get left behind. Queens, the shift begins now. If this message touched something deep inside you, if it reminded you of the power you've been silencing just to be loved, then show your support, beautiful. Like this video and subscribe to the channel, because we are working with our whole heart to bring you the truth, the healing, and the strength you deserve. You are not alone in this. We're building a space for queens like you to rise together. Number 1. Stop explaining yourself to a man who already decided not to understand you. Have you ever felt like you were talking to a wall? Like no matter how carefully you explained yourself, how gently you laid your heart out, he just didn't care to understand. That's not miscommunication. That's a decision. And here's the hard truth. If he already decided you're the problem, no explanation will ever be enough to change his mind. You are not here to beg for clarity. You are not here to convince a man who made up his mind before you even spoke. Every time you explain yourself to a man who won't listen, you hand him power he didn't earn. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." The same applies to you, beautiful woman. Stop wasting your breath trying to make him see your heart. Let him sit in the silence he created. Let him wonder why the woman who once fought so hard to be understood now walks away with nothing left to prove. Think of a radio signal. It can be crystal clear, but if his receiver is turned off, he'll hear nothing but static. And that's what happens when you keep trying to reach a man who already decided not to tune in. You twist yourself into explanations. You repeat yourself with kindness. You lower your volume to seem softer. But still, he doesn't hear you. Not because you're unclear, but because he's uninterested in understanding. That is not your fault, and it is not your job to fix. This isn't love. Love listens. Love leans in. Love doesn't silence or ignore. So stop exhausting yourself trying to decode his distance. Stop believing that if you just explain it better, he'll finally treat you right. He heard you. He just didn't care. And now it's your turn to fall silent. Not in defeat, but in power. Because silence from a woman who used to over-explain is a storm he never saw coming. And this is where you rise, not to chase, not to fix, but to reign. You are not a puzzle to be solved by a man who never cared to understand your depth. You are a full, complete, powerful force. And once you stop explaining and start walking, that's when the shift happens. That's when you take your crown back. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. I owe no explanation to the man who chose not to understand me. Let this be your reminder that silence is your boundary, not your weakness. And if this message woke up something powerful in you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are here working hard to create these life-changing lessons for women who are ready to stop waiting and start ruling. Number 2. Stop giving wife energy to a man who's acting like a visitor. Have you ever noticed how a man will show up like a guest but expect to be treated like a king? He drops by when it's convenient. He gives you half effort, half time, half truth. And yet, you're there, cooking, calling, checking in, giving him access to your heart, your body, your peace. You dress your loyalty in wife energy, but he's still acting like he just stopped by for a quick visit. And the worst part, he hasn't even earned your love, let alone your devotion. A man who has not committed should not be enjoying the privileges of a woman who is all in. That's the trap. You start loving him with everything, and in return, he gives you crumbs and confusion. You meet him with warmth, and he meets you with excuses. But this is not love. This is labor. And you weren't born to carry a relationship on your own back while he sits back, enjoying the benefits. There's a quote that says, "Never pour into a cup that only drains you." Because when you give more than he's earned, you don't get closer to his heart. You lose pieces of yourself. You teach him that your effort is easy to get, that your time doesn't need to be respected. And once he starts believing that, the value of your love drops in his eyes, not because you're not valuable, but because you gave it away before he proved he could handle it. Think of a 5-star hotel. It's exclusive, expensive, and filled with luxury, but only for those who check in properly and pay the price. Now imagine a man walking in without reservation, expecting full service. That's what happens when you treat a man like a husband before he's even been a consistent boyfriend. You're offering royal treatment to a man who hasn't earned a crown. But not anymore. From this moment forward, you hold your energy sacred. No more wife effort for visitor behavior. No more dinners, deep talks, or loyalty for a man who hasn't shown up for you fully. Because a real connection is built, not borrowed. And your heart, your time, your love, It's not a free trial. Beautiful woman, hear this truth. You are not a placeholder. You are not his backup plan. You are not a soft landing for a man still deciding if you're good enough. You are not his practice run. You are the reward, the standard, the presence that shifts the room. And the moment you remember that, he will either rise to meet you or lose the chance forever. Write this in the comments and claim it. No more wife energy for part-time presence. Say it proudly, queens. Let the world know you're done settling for visitor treatment. We are working hard to bring you lessons that will help you reclaim your power and never hand it over too soon again. Number 3. Stop saying, "It's okay," when he treats you like you're replaceable. Have you ever noticed how easy it is to say, "It's okay," even when your heart is quietly breaking? How you find yourself brushing off the pain, smiling through the disrespect, and pretending like it didn't hurt, just to keep the peace. That soft apology you offer every time he crosses the line isn't strength, beautiful. It's the silence of a woman slowly losing herself in the name of love. Every time you say, "It's okay," when it's not okay, you're handing him permission to treat you like you're replaceable. But let's be honest, he saw your heart, your effort, your loyalty, and still he made you feel like you were just an option. He disappeared when it mattered, acted distant when you needed him, and left you wondering what you did wrong. And you kept excusing it. You kept forgiving it. Not because you were weak, but because you were trying to protect a connection that he was no longer honoring. Seneca once said, "No person has the power to have everything they want, but it is in their power not to want what they don't have." Stop wanting the bare minimum. Stop clinging to a man who only reaches out when it's convenient. He should not get peace from the same woman he keeps wounding. Imagine a priceless vase, delicate, rare, and full of beauty. Now picture someone knocking it off the shelf again and again, saying, "It's just a vase, it'll be fine." Eventually, even the strongest vase will crack. But here's the truth. You are not meant to live in pieces just so he can stay comfortable. This is your moment to stop shrinking for love. Stop apologizing for feeling hurt. Stop giving passes to a man who doesn't even value your presence. Because you are not a second choice. You are not his backup plan. And once you stop saying, "It's okay," when it's not, he will feel the weight of what he's losing. That's when the respect returns. But by then, it will be too late. And now, it's time to remind yourself who you are. Not a placeholder, not a maybe, not someone to be tolerated. You are the standard, the one who stops letting silence be mistaken for acceptance. You are the woman who walks away when her heart isn't honored. Say it loud and claim it, queens. I will not say "it's okay" just to keep him. Write it in the comments if you're done settling. This isn't about revenge. It's about your rebirth. Your reign begins now. Number 4. Stop initiating. Every conversation, every plan, every fix. Have you ever stopped to notice who's always holding the thread together? Who's always texting first, making the plans, checking in, patching things up, and trying to keep the energy alive? If that person is you, then this is your wake-up call. Because the woman who constantly reaches out, always makes the effort, always fixes what he breaks, she becomes the one he stops respecting. Not because she's weak, but because she never gave him a reason to earn her. And the truth is, when a man doesn't have to work to keep you, he starts thinking he doesn't have to. There's a quiet kind of power in leaning back, not in silence to be cold, but in silence to be strong. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind." So if your thoughts are consumed by keeping him interested, keeping the spark alive, holding everything in place, then where is the space for you? Where is the room for your heart, your peace, your value? Picture this: a table set with love, every detail carefully prepared, but the chair across from you stays empty. You wait, you serve, you pour, and yet he never brings anything to the table but his appetite. That's not romance. That's depletion. You are not here to keep feeding a connection that leaves you starving. You are not here to hold his place in your life while he decides if you're worth showing up for. A man who wants you will make effort without being begged. He will call without a reminder. He will plan without being pushed. And when he sees that you're no longer carrying the weight alone, that's when he'll feel it. That shift, that loss, that realization that the woman he assumed would always show up has finally put the phone down and picked up her crown. Because you are not desperate, you are not clingy, you are not difficult, you are a woman who deserves equal effort, mutual love, shared energy. And once you stop initiating, stop fixing, stop trying to keep what he keeps breaking, that's when you'll find your peace. You don't need to beg to be seen. You don't need to stretch yourself to keep a place in a life he barely opens the door to. You are not the glue. You are the masterpiece. Let him see what it feels like when the calls stop, when the effort ends, when the fixer is finally done fixing. Affirmation: I do not chase. I attract what matches my energy. Queens, write this in the comments and claim your strength. And if this spoke to your heart, if you felt this burden quietly breaking you, like this video and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you these life-changing truths because your healing, your power, and your rise are long overdue. Number 5. Stop apologizing for having standards that he can't reach. Have you ever noticed how a man gets uncomfortable the moment you speak your standards out loud? The second you say, "I don't accept half love," his energy shifts. Suddenly, you're too much, too hard to please, too demanding. But what if I told you the problem isn't your standards? It's that he never planned to rise to meet them. You're not asking for too much. You're asking the wrong man. And still, you find yourself apologizing, softening your voice, adjusting your expectations just to keep him around. But every time you do that, something inside you breaks. There's a saying, if he can't reach the bar, don't lower it. Remove the bar and walk away with it. A man who truly wants to be in your life will not be intimidated by your standards. He will respect them, because standards are not walls meant to keep him out. They are doors only the worthy can walk through. If he's hesitating, if he's pulling away, it's not because you're asking for too much. It's because he's giving too little. Imagine a velvet rope at an exclusive event. It doesn't lower itself for just anyone. It stays up, and those who want in have to meet the criteria. That's not arrogance, that's value. That's knowing what you bring and refusing to let it be mishandled. You are that velvet rope, and when you constantly step over it for him just to make it easier, you turn something rare into something ordinary. The right man will never ask you to shrink. He won't make you feel guilty for having a vision of the relationship you deserve. He will look at your standards and say, "I'm going to rise to that." But the wrong man. He will try to convince you that wanting more is wrong. He will make you feel like love must always come with sacrifice. And that is where respect begins to die. Stop apologizing for wanting to be loved deeply, consistently, honestly. Stop explaining why you need effort, clarity, commitment. A man who is serious about you won't need convincing. And beautiful, when you finally stop lowering yourself to be digestible, you become unforgettable. Because this is the truth. You were never asking for too much. He was just never enough. Queens, write this in the comments and claim it. My standards are not negotiable. We're working day and night to bring you content that helps you rise, reclaim your worth, and never again settle for less than you deserve. Number 6. Stop letting his inconsistency convince you that you're hard to love. Have you ever felt like you were too much for him on Monday and not enough by Friday? One day he's warm, attentive, calling you beautiful like you're his world. And the next, he pulls away, turns cold, goes silent. As if you imagined the entire connection. You sit there, questioning everything. Did you say something wrong? Were you too available? Not enough. But here's a truth that will hit hard. His inconsistency is not a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of his own confusion. A man who can't stay steady doesn't deserve a woman who brings peace. And yet, you've been adjusting yourself, dimming your light, shrinking your needs, all in hopes that he might stay a little longer, love a little deeper, show up a little more. But queens, this is where the heartbreak ends and the lesson begins. Stop letting his unstable energy convince you that you're hard to love. You are not the problem, his lack of clarity is. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The soul remains dyed with the color of its thoughts. If you keep thinking you are the issue, your spirit starts to believe it. But you were never too much. You were simply misread by a man who was never ready for a woman like you." Think of a lighthouse. It stands tall, radiant, unwavering, even when the storm rages. The ships that value it follow its light. The ones that drift away, that's on them. You are that lighthouse. And if he can't see your light consistently, it's because he was never grounded to begin with. Stop blaming your brightness for his blindness. Relationships are not games where you beg to be seen. Love should not leave you dizzy. If he truly valued you, he would never leave you wondering. You deserve a man who moves with intention, not one who leaves you guessing, doubting and begging for emotional crumbs. When a man moves like a storm, protect your peace like a fortress. Dear woman, stop shrinking to fit into a love that can't hold you. Stop waiting for him to figure it out while you lose yourself trying to be lovable enough. You were already more than enough. And the moment you stop seeking stability from someone unstable, your entire life shifts. Say this with power, queens. His confusion is not my reflection. Write it in the comments and let the world hear you. Let it be known that you are done lowering yourself just to be chosen by a man who hasn't even chosen himself. We're working with purpose to bring you powerful, life-changing lessons, because your peace is not negotiable and your reign starts now. Number 7, stop believing. You have to earn his respect by doing more. Have you ever noticed how the more you do for him, the less he seems to value it? The more you give, the more he expects. And still, he treats it like it's nothing. You think maybe if you love harder, try more, prove yourself over and over again. One day, he'll finally see your worth. But here's the truth most women don't want to face. A man does not respect what he doesn't have to earn. The more you carry the weight for both of you, the more he forgets the strength it takes just to keep standing. You were never meant to beg for love by overextending yourself. Doing more won't convince him to respect you. It'll just teach him that you'll keep giving, no matter how little he offers in return. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." And in your case, dear lady, waste no more time proving you're worthy of respect. A man who can't see your value without constant reminders is not blind. He's just not looking. Think of a rare flower that only blooms under the right light. It's not meant to grow in darkness. And you've been trying to bloom in the shadows of his indecision, in the cold of his inconsistency. You watered his ego, planted roots in soil that only cracked beneath you, but no more. Love should not come with terms that require you to abandon yourself. He should be drawn to your presence, not addicted to your sacrifice. You are not his proof of manhood. You are not his emotional crutch. And you are not here to keep earning a spot in his life by working twice as hard for half the effort. A man who truly wants you will rise to meet your energy, not wait for you to carry the weight alone. This is the moment where the story flips. This is where you stop handing out your worth like a bargain and start protecting it like treasure. Because beautiful, you were never supposed to prove you deserve love. You are love. And from this moment on, if he doesn't come correct, he doesn't come at all. Write this affirmation in the comments and claim it. I don't earn respect. I command it. Queens, if this message woke up something deep inside you, like this video, and subscribe to the channel. We are working hard to bring you the truth, the strength, and the clarity you deserve. This is your space. This is your rise.